Ever felt like everyone's just messing around, but you're in it for real? Hey, I'm Jake. Appreciate you being here. If this story hits something in you, drop a like, comment your thoughts, maybe subscribe if you're into stuff like this. Now tell me, have you ever joined something that was supposed to be just for fun, but to you, it turned into something way deeper? So it's a chill Friday night. 12 of us show up, friends, co-workers, people from back in school. We hit up this bowling alley. It was supposed to be casual, but the second I stepped in, neon lights, that weird carpet, the smell of nachos and floor polish, it just flipped a switch. The game kicks off strong. Everyone's surprisingly good. Jesse throws a strike right off and does a little dance. People are laughing, high-fiving, talking trash like we're at the Super Bowl. Even I start solid. Hit 8 pins, then a spare. Felt good. But by the 4th frame, I slip. One bad roll. Then another. Gutter ball. Then again. Someone jokes like, "Yo, Jake, what happened?" I laugh it off, but inside it stings. What made it worse? Everyone else seemed to be getting lucky. Like, actually lucky. Some dude straight up trips and knocks down 9 pins. Another girl chucks the ball by accident and still lands a strike. Meanwhile, I'm in my head, trying harder and doing worse. I start adjusting everything. My stance, my breathing, grip pressure. None of it helps. But then I start noticing something else. People who were doing great earlier, they're losing steam. Phones come out. People get distracted. Throws get sloppy. But I stay in it. Not because I thought I could win. I knew I wasn't winning. I just couldn't walk away from it. I needed to finish. Because deep down, I knew this wasn't just a game. Not for me. It was something else. I'll leave it here for now. But have you ever been the one still fighting, even when everyone else already gave up? Not because you had to, but because quitting just wasn't in you? Let me know. Part 2 is coming soon. Don't go far. Winners aren't always the loud ones. I remember just sitting there, holding the ball, fingers a little raw from gripping it too tight. The alley was loud. Music playing, someone ordering nachos, laughter bouncing off the walls. But in my head, it was quiet. Just me and this voice going, "Dude, why are you still trying? It's just bowling." But I couldn't quit. And here's why. It wasn't about the score anymore. Or the pins. It was about me. See, that game turned into a tiny version of how life works. Everyone starts strong. Everyone's hyped. But the second it stops being easy, people tap out. Phones come out. Energy drops. But the ones who stay in, they change. There's a word for it in psych. Frustration tolerance. It means how well you handle things not going your way. And trust me, that night, I failed big. Worst score I'd ever had. But I stayed. I threw that last ball. Not because I was winning, but because I wasn't gonna walk away halfway. Because it mattered. And after that, I saw it so clearly. There's 2 kinds of people. First, the quick starters. The ones who ride the high until things go sideways. They're the big dreamers, the "I'm gonna do this, that, and everything" types. But when it's time to stay consistent, they vanish. Then there's the quiet grinders. The ones who finish what they start, even when it's embarrassing, even when it hurts, even when it feels pointless. They play through. And that is where character is born. So tell me honestly, are you the one who fades after a flop? Or the one who keeps showing up, even when it sucks? Drop your story below. I read everything. You ever replay something in your head way after it's over? That bowling night haunted me. Not because I cared about the score, but because I saw myself clearly for the first time. There were people that night who just got lucky. Random strikes, lucky bounces, unplanned wins. And I'm not gonna lie, I was jealous. They were laughing. I was grinding. They breezed through it. I struggled. And yeah, I ended up with the lowest score in the group. But you know what's weird? I was the only one who stood by the lanes afterward, just staring at the pins. Not because I was mad, but because I knew something. I learned more from losing than they ever did from winning. Failure isn't a curse. It's a flashlight. It shows you everything, your flaws, your fears, your limits. And if you don't look away, you grow. You become. That's what building character really is. It's not some epic moment. It's small, quiet decisions like, just one more try, even when it hurts, even when no one's watching. I remember one guy saying, "Dude, I could have won if I actually cared." And I just smiled, because no, you couldn't have. Because the second you stop caring, that's your finish line. And you already crossed it. I didn't get lucky that night. And I'm so grateful. Because when everything fell apart, I had to face what was left, me. Not a winner, not a star, but someone who stays in the fight. And honestly, that's worth more than any trophy. A lot of time passed after that game. And honestly, I didn't think it would matter years later. But every now and then, I see it, like a replay in my head. And every time, I notice something new. Some of the people who crushed it that night, the high scorers, the ones who started strong, full of fire, they're still like that. Big dreams, big words, but not a lot of finish lines. No shade, just facts. Some people only thrive when things go their way, when it's easy, when it clicks. But life? It's built in the moments where it doesn't click. And me, the dude with the lowest score who didn't walk away, I learned to trust effort, to lean into discomfort. And over time, things started shifting. Not overnight, but little by little. Tiny wins, quiet breakthroughs, grit. The story? It's not about bowling. It never was. It's about life. Because life is a string of throws. And a lot of them are total misses. But if you don't drop the ball, if you keep stepping up, even after the worst roll of your life, you start building something real. You might not win the scoreboard, but you win you. And that's everything. The other day, I stumbled on an old photo, our bowling night. We were all standing by the lanes, smiling like fools. Pizza in one hand, mismatched shoes, red cheeks from laughing too hard. I stared at that photo for a long time, and one thought hit me. This wasn't just a game. It was a map. Because looking back, I can see it. The way we played that night, that's how we live now. The ones who gave up early, the ones who laughed off their bad throws with, not my night, they still do that. Start things full of hype, disappear when it gets hard. They talk big, dream big, but follow through barely exists. And me? I didn't become some genius, didn't strike it rich, didn't manifest success in 30 days. But I became the kind of person who finishes. The kind of person you trust with the hard stuff, because you know I'm not quitting halfway. The kind of person who trusts himself now, because I've seen what I do when it gets rough. I stay. I throw again. I grow. So take a second. How do you play? When no one's watching? When it's boring, painful, or slow? Because that answer? It's not about bowling. It's about you. Thanks for walking this journey with me. If this story stirred something in you, leave a comment, like, or share it with someone who needs a little push. And now, I'm asking, how do you throw when it's your turn? Bowling. Let's talk.